Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA, the edge of greatness. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So ADA continues to climb. We are at 91 cents now. But look at this parabolic move that ADA has experienced over the last several months. In September, we hit this curve. And by the way, this is just a random curve. It's not like something you can take to the bank or anything. And none of this is financial advice. Here we were at around 7 cents or so. We came back to it at around 8 or 9 cents. Back down to it again at 13 cents. Again at around 33 cents. And here we are. Okay, we're up in this region. And one of the things we've seen is that we a lot of times we'll move up, and then maybe we'll move sideways and then back down slightly back into this, right? We move sideways and then back down. Here we kind of just move sideways into it before coming back up. Now, the reason we're saying the edge of greatness is because we're kind of at a critical point, right? ADA is at a very critical point right now. There's a lot of milestones that are just above where the current price is. One milestone is a $1 ADA, okay? Another milestone is the prior all-time high at $1.38 ADA. These are two major milestones that ADA will be looking to cross, hopefully, in the coming weeks. We are experiencing altcoin mania right now. Make no mistake about it. Altcoins are flying, oftentimes irrationally. As you guys know, ADA has been, since 2 cents, it's been my primary hedge against Ethereum. It was my primary hedge against Ethereum at 2 cents. It's my primary hedge against Ethereum at 91 cents. And, you know, ADA gets a lot of flack, right? And we've talked about this before on the channel before about people saying, you know, it's vaporware, no one's building on top of it, that sort of line of thinking. And you have to understand that ADA is going about their project, the launch of this thing, in a completely different way than Ethereum did. Ethereum launched, you know, as proof of work, and now it has to contend with the transition to proof of stake. ADA is just going, you know, just straight to proof of stake. Don't even bother doing proof of work and dealing with that type of complicated transition. Because of that, it's led a lot of developers to build, or one of the reasons, right, is it's led a lot of developers to build on the Ethereum network because there's a product you can build on. For ADA, it hasn't been the same thing because, you know, there just simply hasn't really been a finished product that everyone can use. So I've always considered it, you know, since ADA was 2 cents less than a year ago, I've always considered it an opportunity. I don't see it as something to just scream vaporware and run the other direction. I've always seen it as an opportunity to get into the project before it gets to that phase where we theoretically have a lot of people building on top of it. I do think that people will be building on top of ADA. I do. It's probably, you know, it might not be that apparent yet, but I think it is coming, and because of that, I'm buying, you know, I bought that idea back when ADA was, you know, just a few cents. And I continued to DCA into ADA up until fairly recently because I believe in the idea. Now, I also believe in the idea of not chasing pumps as well. And this, my friends, is a pump. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful entering the market. But with that said, if we get another kick up from this level and we trend higher, a $2 to $3 ADA is not necessarily off the table, okay? And I think the way in which we get there, there's a lot of different scenarios that could take ADA to these valuations. Some scenarios might be major announcements, whatever those could be, right? We don't know, but a lot of times during market conditions like this, there can be key announcements that will come out. And then FOMO will completely take over. And then you get into this completely irrational phase, which we already are in to some degree. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. We already are into some irrational altcoin mania FOMO phase right now. But imagine news breaking about ADA or about other projects you follow. And if it's really bullish news, then those types of events can really propel the price higher. You know, I often say I don't really talk about the news on the channel because the news is reflected in the price. Another reason I don't talk about it is because By the time you know about the news, you could argue that it's already been priced in, right? It's a whole rumor of buy, or a whole thing of buy the rumor, sell the news. The other thing is that people just don't seem to care about bad news in a bull market, in the same way that they don't care about good news in a bear market. With that said, I've seen when things are completely manic and you have tons of new money to the space, I've seen announcements drive FOMO a lot higher than maybe they otherwise would have gone. So what I'm saying here is ADA is on the cusp of greatness. It's at 91 cents. A lot of milestones are just north of the current price, and if they get above it, things can start moving quickly. The first milestone is $1. The second one would be $1.38. The other one that we need to contend with is this theoretical top for Ethereum, or ADA Ethereum, the ADA Ether valuation. We have topped out at this level 3 times in the past. The only time we went above it was in January 2018. However, you could argue that the only time the conditions are like they are now was in January of 2018. So if ADA is going to move above this valuation of its valuation against Ether, I should say, these types of conditions would allow for it. Like what I should say is, if there does exist a set of conditions that would allow the ADA Ether valuation to come above this level that we've held resistance at in April of 2018, or in May of 2018, in May of 2019, or in April of 2019, or in July of 2020, if a set of conditions exists to get us above this level, it would be these types of conditions, okay, where it's just pure mania, and if we get certain key announcements, or if the price of Bitcoin just stays stagnant at 47, 48K, and the Ethereum tsunami does not occur for a few more weeks, then there is a decent chance, again, not financial advice, not something you can take to the bank, buying at these levels is incredibly risky. You guys know the channel. We've been talking about ADA since it was 2 cents. But we're sitting on the edge of greatness in terms of watching it propel itself much higher than we may have otherwise necessarily imagined at this point in the market cycle. So if that happens, I would say be ready for it, because things can get crazy. If you think things are crazy now, they can get even crazier. And the type of euphoria that could come with this sort of theoretical move, a lot of people cannot imagine. So be careful. I would say you need to be extremely careful right now. I cannot stress it enough that the market conditions are risky, and that the time for rationally investing in altcoins like Cardano, in my opinion, they've come and gone. But there have been prior times where, if you look at other projects like Ethereum, and you look at these major pumps that it had, you could argue that buying here was also very risky, because it was already up so much, from like $7 up to $160, more than a 10x, like a 20x move. It was still risky, but it did not change the fact that people who bought there could have still experienced a nice ROI. Okay? So you have to consider that. Of course, later on, it ultimately dropped back down below. So if you're coming into the market now, you know the risks involved, right? You know the risks involved. The risk is that if Bitcoin plummets, that would be a key risk. If Ethereum starts going parabolic itself, it might not be so bad for ADA USD, but I don't anticipate ADA being able to keep up with an Ethereum that's going up like 10 or 15% a day for like 7 days in a row or something like that. So ADA Ether valuation, we're sitting at a major milestone. We want to move above it. ADA USD, we're sitting at 2 major milestones, out just shy of $1, and then above that will be 138. For ADA Bitcoin, we're around this level, but in fact we have moved above it. Okay, so we have moved above it, but you can see we have come back down to it. So yet another milestone we are at. There's a lot of things aligning for ADA. And if the stars continue to align, then maybe we'll see a breakout here, back up. Maybe we'll look at the next, say, one of these peaks here as maybe a target potentially. If it were to go to that level from the current valuation, it would be another 120% move. So theoretically, we could be looking at a $2 ADA, or maybe over a $2 ADA if it were to go to these levels. If you were to look at the ADA Ether valuation, the next key level, if we're able to break through, would be a 150% move up from the current valuation, approximately, give or take a few percentage, right? What's a few percentage among friends? An ADA USD sitting on the edge of greatness. The risks are there. Be careful, okay? Be careful with your money. Protect yourself. I'm mainly, when I make these videos, I'm mainly speaking to the people who are getting in over here. The people coming in now, again, it's an altcoin casino, and I don't really know what to tell you, other than to be careful. Don't put in more than you can afford to lose. And if you do come into the market here and it does correct, it's probably going to be hard for you to stomach. The nice thing about it for people over here is that it's a lot easier to stomach 30%, 40%, 50% corrections because of how long we had to accumulate lower. So if something like that were to occur and we did see, say, a nice correction before trending higher, I would say just stick with the market for a few years rather than just coming in at local tops. Stick with it, and ultimately the bear markets are where the real money is made. If you guys want access to the premium content, the altcoin season sale to lock in the lower rate, check out the description below for that link. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. If you do sign up to the premium list, make sure you follow the link for a discount on the price before the prices go up. And you'll get access to weekly reports, weekly videos, premium-only live streams, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, a whole lot more. Make sure you guys check it out. That'll wrap it up for the video. We'll see if ADA has what it takes to move into the next milestone here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.